souls, caretakers of the earth, and champions of compassion and architects of positive change. I am so thrilled to welcome you back to another heartwarming episode of A Dose of Positivity. And I see on the call we have a couple of new names and some old faces. I mean, been on your beautiful new faces, old faces on, and I'm super thrilled. If some of you don't know me, I am your host, Mama Donna, and known to many as Mama Donna. And today's gathering promises to be nothing short of inspiring. We're going to dive deep into how to get rid of toxins in our home with my special guest, Pat Chin. And I'm so delighted to have her on. She's going to blow your mind, give you tips and tricks and products that can really make a huge difference in your everyday life. But before we embark on this enlightening journey of transformation in our homes, detoxing our body, minds, and spirits, I just want to go over a few housekeeping rules real quick. This is being recorded, and I also want to welcome all you who are listening to the recording. Thank you for listening to the recording. We just so appreciate if you like what you hear. Subscribe, and also send us a comment. We love to hear from you. Since it is a live broadcast, and any of you who have a desire to come up on stage, we welcome you to raise your hand, and we will let you in to ask questions directly to Pat and myself, anything to do with home health and wellness. So we're super excited to have you come on. Or if you just feel more comfortable, put any questions, any comments in the chat, and we will address them all, both on the Facebook live streams. We're live streaming a couple of Facebook groups, and we will get to you. Tel's in the house, who's my assistant, and she is awesome. So everybody buckle up your seats and get yourself something to drink, maybe some healthy treat, and let's together create a ripple effect of change and how we can learn, heal, and embrace the extraordinary powers within us to make a difference. And sometimes letting go of toxins, addictions, are the hardest things we can do. But we can do this, and together helping each other in this tribe that we have, the Holistic Health Nature Therapy. If you're not in our Facebook group already, we drop little nuggets, and our group members drop little nuggets in there daily on how we can stay on this detox path. So before we get going, I'm going to read you something from one of my books, Conscious Cures: Solutions to 21st Century Pandemics. And I wanted you guys to know that Tel's going to pop in the chat today. And if you're listening to the replay, you'll have to reach out to us via email, and we'll have that email address for you available. We are giving just today an ebook copy of this book. So this is coming from the environmental pandemic section. For those of you who haven't read the book, I address the root cause of the health pandemic by addressing the 6 pandemics out there that are responsible for creating our health and the toxins that we're ingesting every day. And I start with the environmental pandemic. We get into the economic pandemic, political pandemic, food and drug, fear, media, and conspiracy, and the inequality pandemic in this book. Okay, so a lot of it is about toxins, about how to clean up, which Pat is going to so beautifully give us guidelines. So many people are still wondering when life will get back to normal after COVID-19. We should be asking, can we use this opportunity to shift, to learn from our mistakes and build something better? The answer is yes. There are silver linings for the environment since we learned when COVID struck. All around the world, we saw the environmental benefits of changing our ways. The closer we got to Mother Nature, the more inclined people were to protect it. Not being able to go to the movies, the mall, they went out to nature, right? Hopefully you still are. When we can take care of the environment, we will see human health dramatically improve. Attuned and responsive, nature adapts to changing conditions, remembering that we are part of nature that we can adapt to. All life evolves to survive, integrating balance and growth, even in times of distress, is necessary. Changing our consumption habits, we can restore, we can regenerate. From our reduced activity, we reduce CO2 emissions. With fewer cars commuting and contributing to the polluting fossil-driven economy, the Earth recovered unexpected reliefs. Since the shutdown, the global footprint dramatically shrunk faster than any governmental policy to date. So the key to that is we are using and ingesting all these products and all these toxins, not just from our cars, but from we spray on our bodies, our armpits, from the drinking water that we're drinking, to the cleaning products that we're using, all of them contributing to this toxic world. And people during COVID actually over cleaned, and that was a problem too, destroying some of the microbiome. And my special guest, Pat Chen, is going to talk about the right balance in the home and how we can stay healthy using good, healthy, clean products with that you feel good about, that have integrity. So I want to do a brief introduction to Pat, and then we're going to start this conversation off with some really good questions that are going to stir the dust in your mindset to take off that mold and hopefully engage in this conversation with us. So Pat is now a home health and wellness consultant. She has also 38 years of corporate experience as the chief of staff and business at United Head. I started unit head with Citigroup, which is very interesting because that Citigroup could be a very toxic place to work. I'm curious to see how that was for you all those years and how you transitioned. She's accomplished in operations and technology, but Pat believes that creating healthy homes improves the overall quality of life. And she made this big shift later in her life, which I see a lot of incredible, talented entrepreneurial women doing these days. Her passion is to help people have access to the highest quality and the most affordable and effective ways to breathe, sleep, and to overall feel better. She takes the time to understand each of the people that she works with in unique needs, including identifying what areas her clients might want to address via comprehensive checklists and ultimately creating an individual plan for people who are ready to detoxify their bodies, mind, spirits, and their home. And Pat, I just want to thank you so much for carving a time out in your day to share with us, first of all, how you went from a little bit of back history. You're there in Florida today, but what made this shift after 38 years in the corporate world? What was the light bulb, and how did you decide to shift into this new endeavor, honey?
So I'll tell you, I'm still shifting. So I am still at Citigroup, and I'm working towards shifting out of that, hopefully next year, and then I can do this full time. So I've been doing this part-time for about 6 years now. And it really all started with, I wasn't really looking for a change. It's just, when the time is right and something just comes to you and it just comes into your life at the right time. So that's what happened. I met some people, I got some samples, I tried these things, and I've been looking at different options ever since then, right? Always trying to increase the number of things in my toolkit, and just for us personally at home. So everything is, what we've done at home. My husband wanted alkaline water like 7 years ago, and I was like, I'm not going to buy this thing. It's way too expensive, and I don't want to be lifting all these bottles all the time. So I said, let me go find an alternative. So I went on that path, and that's pretty much how I've done everything. As I've grown through the different areas, it's looking at what options are out there, investigating them, researching them, and then implementing them in my life and my business.
Well, why is it so important for you to maintain a clean and toxic-free living environment?
So for me, I believe that, there is so much, I think, crap in the air in the world today about what we put into our bodies. That and there is no regulation for a lot of these things, right? So even though the body, you think it's good, you don't know exactly what's in these things that we're using, what we're eating, and what we're putting into our body. So for me, I wanted to find a healthier way, healthier items, healthier ways of living and protecting our lives, my kids' lives. And then some of it too was my kids are older. So as they have been growing up, they were looking at me like, why are you eating that? Why are you doing those things? Try this, try that. So it's just kind of like, it came all together. And I started doing these things because I think, and then, thinking of every time I sit here and I hear something, especially that, you talked about what happened during COVID, right? From your book, right? And what from the Conscious Cure Solutions, and what happened during that time where everybody was being told to clean with Lysol, clean with this Clorox wipes, all these different things, which every time I heard that, like, I cringed because you're touching them, you're putting them on the surfaces, you're eating off the surfaces. It was just terrible. So, we didn't do any of that here because I just didn't want that coming back into the home after I detoxed everything. And it's like that mindset that people,
Killing all the good
crazy.
bacteria too, right?
Yeah, and the media is just like so crazy. It just hypes everything up even more.
Mm-hmm. So when you say the media hypes everything up even more, let's talk about the danger and the really the personal liability. It's not a liability to the corporations or even to the medical system, but why is it a liability to spray with Lysol and bleach and use these harsh chemicals in our home? How does that affect us physically?
So all of those chemicals that are in those products that they're out there, when we use them, we disrupt our endocrine systems and our bodies, right? So you're putting all those chemicals into our body becomes a filter for trying to get those things out, which we already have enough in the environment with the types of food and what's in the food that we eat, the air that we're breathing, inside and outside the home, that then adding all these cleaning products on top of that just helps. It just bombards the body and creates that extra body burden that we talk about, which is like, it just disrupts everything that's happening in your body. And then that's what happens, when your body is like in this state of, in this, you start to like make yourself susceptible to diseases because your body just can't fight everything that's going on because you've sort of depleted what's happening in your body. So you want to make what we want to do is create that environment in our home, especially since that's what we can control, that allows us to live in that that environment and that space that is healthier and cleaner, and it helps your body. So you're helping to your body being able to heal itself and take care of itself without bombarding it with all those things that are around us.
Yeah, because those things kill the healthy bacteria too, and they destroy your endocrine system
Up your gut,
and
everything.
your
Yeah.
gut microbiome. Interesting. You were saying too about the marketing. Like, I when we have a housekeeper come in and helps us with our vacation rental. Hey, put the link to Always in Season in the chat. Maybe you guys want to come. We have like a totally green, clean vacation rental, and we advertise it that way, and we get people who really care about having a toxic free vacation rental spot. And so
Yeah.
if anybody's listening to this and wants to come to Hawaii for that experience, we are so, like, I even make my own cleaning product with some of my citrus, and I did put a recipe in the blog, so tell you put the blog in there with citrus and vinegar, and letting it sit on the counter, and it doesn't hardly cost you anything. You just use the rinds from your oranges. So there's things you can do. But so stepping back, when I we have a housekeeper who comes and helps us, and we hired, anytime we've done this for like 20 some years, and we've been a green vacation rental the whole time, even when we were in Alaska. But people will come with their cleaning products, but we'll advertise we're looking for someone who understands how to have a, clean my house with toxic free products. And they bring, almost every time they'll have Simply Green. Simply Green is one of those endocrine disruptor, horrid products, people. So you want to really read those ingredients. And so, Pat, what I'd like you to do is kind of dissect what a healthy product would look like. I just gave one example. Simple: throw rinds in vinegar and let it sit on your counter for a week or two. And there's your cleaning product. Maybe add a little baking soda to that too. There's plenty of home recipes on the internet. But what would you define? How do you define a clean product versus Simply Green?
So what I do, so I don't make my own, Donna, so I am like really impressed with you.
I don't do it all the time, but I do it every year. I have a gallon or two. Yes.
Yeah, and similarly, I have somebody who comes to clean, but I actually have her use my products. So I am not introducing anything that she's bringing into the home. All right, so really products that are more natural, like you can create your own, like you said, or the one I use a brand called Norwex, which is a Norwegian company that basically a lot of the products are either it's just cleaning with water. It's amazing what you could do with water and a microfiber cloth. And then the other products are enzyme based. So the enzymes are really more effective as cleaning. So if you're looking at products, you want to look at the ingredients and look at what's in them. I use, have you ever heard of this ewg.org?
Yeah, environmental working group. Yes.
I go in there and I put in whatever it is I'm looking at, and then you could see the ingredients. They can rate them. They rate the ingredients and what that product is from, like, I think it's A to F.
Yes.
So A would be obviously the better ones, and then F's at the bad end of it. So if you're not sure, because there are a lot of chemicals, we don't know all the names, right?
Yes.
So use a tool, look them up and see what is in them and how it rates, and then make your decisions on what you want to use.
Pat, I love that you brought that up. I love that. And put in environmental working group. Yep. EWG in the chat, and they will give you like the list of the 13 most pesticide foods and the best ones to eat if you can't get organic and versus non-organic. The dirty doesn't.
It has a whole everything.
Yeah.
What you eat, what you clean with, everything, what you drink.
Yeah. I've donated to them for my birthday wish before. They're so good. They really do. And consumer buyer beware. And my book, Conscious Cures, which we'll put the link, I think we already did, but we give you a lot of good examples in there as well. Well, that's really, really great. Let's talk more, and that's the whole thing of putting the orange rind and in the vinegar on the counter, because it gets the bacteria going, and it really, between the vinegar and the bacteria, it really, really wipes that out. So now let's talk about the other ways. We're kind of covering cleaning products, and which is a huge thing, and we'll definitely put your link in there. And so if you people want to know more about the Norway products, and what was the other one?
I also use Nikan.
So we'll put those links in there, and we'll get a little bit more into that towards the end. But what about like the water? I've recently have heavy metal toxicity. My mercury level's off the chart. I'm having my local water company. Next week they'll be testing my water for me too, because we have a point of demand water system, but I think a lot of mine, as many know, I had this dental work done, and my dad was a dentist, and I was around a lot of amalgam fillings, not just in my own mouth, but drilling in my home. So let's talk water and toxins, and in how really we're made up, right, of 70+% water, and why it is so important, right, for us.
We are, like you said, we are 70%, 80% water is our makeup of our body. There are many different types of water out there, not all good, right? Some are better than others. So when I talk about water, there is tap water that is treated with chemicals to help take out some of the bacteria, all the different things in the water, which is not that good. And sometimes it doesn't taste good either.
Mhm.
You're right. Right. You have these systems that use reverse osmosis to take out all the bad things out of the water, but it also removes the minerals, right? Because your body does need some amount of minerals to function. And then the bottled water, which many of us drink because it's just convenient. It's to grab a bottle of water wherever you are. That's usually filtered with reverse osmosis, and that's already stripped everything out of it. So where you're drinking just because you want to drink something because you're hot, you need hydration. That's good. You grab the water, but you're not really getting any benefit out of it. So a lot of times, what we actually do want is water that's healthier for the body, that's going to help our body heal itself and detox it. So if you don't filter your water, so if you can't get anything else, at least have a filter that takes out some of the chemicals, right? Because if you don't do at least the minimum, your body becomes that filter for everything that you put in. And the body itself then becomes so acidic with everything. Sometimes the food you eat, everything you drink, you're making your body so acidic that when your body is acidic, that's when you're susceptible to disease, right? So what we do and what I do all the time is I drink alkaline water, which helps to balance the pH in the body. So you can buy alkaline water, which it's a bit more expensive, obviously, than a regular bottle of water. And then you have the bottles you have to carry it back and forth. So there are systems out there that you can get alkaline water. And the best thing to do is get living water, right? Water that is made, and it has the nutrients, puts the minerals, it has the minerals that you need. It strips out all the bad things, the chlorine and all those things in there, and the chemicals. And getting that alkalinity, and you wanted to make sure that it's made in a more natural way, right? So if you think of like waterfalls and streams, which is the way nature creates water, right? The water is running over these rocks and it's moving all the time, and that's living water. So you want it to be that type of water that will help your body to heal and create that alkalinity and just give you overall good hydration. Right? It's not just drinking water. You're drinking water because you want to hydrate and also to detox and cleanse your body.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's great. I loved your analogy of showing the water coming down and the oxidation in the water. And the other thing that I think sometimes when I'm like working with a client, right, and trying to, and then I'll have people come and they bring cases of bottled water. I mean, number one, people, especially trying to economize, people spend about $1,000 a year on bottled water, only to drink out of plastic, which is another endocrine disruptor because of the BTH or the BHT. I forget which one it is, but at the moment, but there are so many toxins, just not just in the water, like you say, Pat. They strip out all the good stuff, but you're also getting the micro filtered film from the plastics in there, and you're creating to a polluted world. It takes 100 years for plastic bottles to destroy. And if people think, oh, recycling, and we know that is the furthest thing from the truth. First of all, 75 to 80% doesn't get recycled, and what does, it is so toxic. When you have a refinery, just think of having a refinery next to you that melted down plastic. I mean, it's highly toxic. So the solution is to avoid the water bottles, right? Have your bottle, have your filter on demand, and they're always, and the other thing too, Pat, this is a really interesting thing, because I know you can over alkaline water too. So because if you really want to understand your pH, you want to have a healthy pH. Now, for some people who are eating really raw and vegan, very alkaline diet, and they drink alkaline water, they can become too alkaline, and just like too much of a good thing, or too much of a bad thing,
yes.
It's not good. So you really want to know your stuff. That's why you would want to talk to someone like Pat, who's a professional and expert on this. But you before you go investing in any kind of filters, you really want to consider your bio individuality and who's having this in your household, because there are other water systems that have hydrating compounds and put minerals back into the water. So you want to do your research on anything that we share with you on a dose of positivity, what works for you. So but I really appreciate that, Pat. That was a lot of really good information. And then moving right along on another toxic environmental level, it's like thinking about what we the amount of toxins in like in our food, right, for instance. And we've covered water. So hit on some high points on the toxicity in the food and how that is going to affect our overall, how it is affecting our overall health and the agricultural system at large.
So I haven't really done a lot with food. So most of it is really about the solutions that we can implement within the home. But the food that we eat, we want to make sure that just in general that we're eating that. And it's hard these days, unless you're growing it yourself. You actually don't know what kind of pesticides and things are being used to grow that food. But that also helps. Does not help our body burden, right? It really increases our body burden with all those types of things that are used to grow the food. So just the other day, I decided, just actually this year, I've always been looking at this thing called a tower garden. Ever heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
It's the hydroponic water. And I said, you know what? I want one of those. So I got one of those. So I've been growing all this stuff. It's been awesome.
That's so good right there in your
all
home.
Different vegetables and things like that. So it's like really, really cool trying different things out. But that's the type of stuff I love, is like, what can I do to change what we're doing and try something new? But the types of food that we eat and just staying away from like all those fried foods and not too much sugar, all those things that we constantly hear are all good things that we need to try to do with our food. So like with you living off the land out there, I love it. I love it. I originally am from Jamaica, right? So there we have the fruit trees. You go outside, you pick off you get the coconut, you get the coconut water right in the husk. And the jelly. I miss those sorts of things, just to be able to go outside and get that stuff and just eat what you want, what you have out there.
Oh, you're in Florida. No excuses. There's coconuts there.
No, they're expensive, Donna. Oh my God.
Yes, you gotta plant some trees.
I don't have, you're right, exactly. I could grow it, but I don't have land.
Yeah, I know that is a problem not a problem, but it is a situation where the 8 billion people on the planet, not everybody can have land and grow their own coconut trees. I totally get that. One thing too that I wanted to add, about the chemicals of the food and just the chemicals in the soil, what ends up happening is we're getting it at the microbiome level from the soil to our souls, literally. It's different than it was 60 years ago, post World War II. They started putting all these chemicals, the byproduct from World War II. So really more than, I'm dating myself, since the 40s, they had all these nitrogen bomb plants, and where they were making these nitrogen bombs, and then they had all this leftover uric acid or whatever it is, that the leftover byproduct from the nitrogen, and it made this nitrogen. They started making nitrogen fertilizer out of the urea. That's what I was trying to say. And I'm telling you, you guys, that's when everything really changed. That's when our bodies really started to deteriorate. Even though people are living older, they're living longer. It's because of these pharmaceutical drugs. They're not necessarily living a better, healthier life. And that's a whole nother topic, to getting into the chemicals of the pharmaceutical companies. You'll get that when you read Conscious Cures. You'll have lots of great resources on that. But yeah, and what you said, I just absolutely love, because I know we don't have hours. This is a big conversation we're having here about toxins. But you had mentioned this vertical garden and their hydroponics, and I the jury's out for me on them. I think they're really, really awesome, especially for people like you. But we don't want to forget how valuable really good healthy soil is. Soil sequesters carbon. The nutrients and nutrient dense soil creates homes and habitat for all these healthy microbes and organisms that keep really all sentient beings healthy. But having this hydroponic garden in addition to that in your home, Pat, is genius, especially most people can't grow their own gardens. But what an incredible opportunity to take your indoor air quality to another level. And because you are having this living food growing in your home is a tremendous strategy and house plants, right?
Plants are
To
great indoors, yes.
take it away, right? But you also tell us about some other techniques or strategies for, besides having a vertical, hydroponic garden in your apartment. Anybody can do this, right? And we'll put the link into and hydroponic vertical gardens in the chat, because they are fabulous, and I do write about them actually in my book, because I'm all for it, especially in densely populated areas. It's just a great thing. So let's talk about air quality and what's in the air, Pat, and how can we clean it up? Because we don't see the air, right? We
Right,
can't.
you don't see the air, you can't tell what's in it. Sometimes, well, you've got all the smoke, the pollution, everything, the off-gassing from everything that's happening outside. Inside, depending on what furniture you have, you could also have that kind of off-gassing. A lot of people use those plug-ins, the fragrance thing, so they think it smells, well, it does smell good, but it's not good for you, because those are all chemical based. And a lot of times, even the products you use, like if you think of like the laundry detergent, you use a laundry detergent and it has a lot of fragrance in it, that's a chemical base, right? So the other thing is that, I always tell people, just because something smells clean doesn't mean it's clean. And just because if it doesn't smell clean doesn't mean it's not clean either. So like the reverse is true, right? So, but we've all grown up in it has to smell nice. When
Right.
it smells nice, then it's clean. So it's, I think it's really changing that mentality, and try to use more natural fragrances. So if you are using plugins or any kind of manufacturer thing, get rid of them.
Oh, thank you.
Unplug them and get rid of them. Try essential oils, right? They are much better. And you want to make sure you get good quality essential oils, not like the Walmart or the, pharmacy brand, but a good quality essential oil. And you can use that. Like I use that on my dryer balls so I can get some, right? I diffuse them in the house, and I have different rollers I put on so I can smell. So even perfumes, like if you think about, spraying all those perfumes, those are not good for you either. And you're putting it on your skin, you're just absorbing all of that stuff, and your body is just then loaded with all those things. So even essential oils, they have rollers, you can use them and they give you a nice fragrance. So those alternatives.
Oh, I love that you brought this up. This is so great. And I have everything from doTERRA to the local people using the local herbs, making these oils. And also there's an infuser. Find a good infuser. You just drip some in the water of these little infusers, and they just go off for like an hour or two, and you don't even hardly notice them, but the air, it just totally cleans the air. And when you do go over and you get a whiff of it, and they're saying now, they're linking, and I love that you mentioned this about the essential oils, like the people, there's studies now, and you guys can read about this, and maybe I'll blog about it too, because I really want to learn more about this to myself. But they say that these essential oils are helping people with dementia and Alzheimer's. And if you are using the right essential oils, it will slow down the process of any kind of cognitive disorders and also make you feel better. So definitely check out the essential oils and how you can use those essential oils. Thank you for bringing that up.
It's also really good. They've now have some that help with your microbiome and your gut and everything too. So it's, essential oils, I didn't realize there were so many uses of that, but they're great.
Who needs deodorant when you can put a little patchouli oil on, or some namchaga oil, or lavender to calm everything. Oh my God, talk about this deliciousness and the smell, right? And what it does for your hygiene environment. And people like are always wanting to hug me because I always smell so good. I usually wear Numchaga. I used to be a patchouli girl, but now I'm, or
If you can't
lavender.
sleep well, if you have trouble falling asleep, to lavender is nice. It'll like calm you down and put you to sleep. The
Absolutely.
diffuser, yeah.
So there's so many alternatives, right? We've got essential oils, we've got changing our water filters, we've got changing our cleaning products to anything from making our own cleaning products to looking at some of the products that Pat has on her website, speaking to an expert who knows about these things. These are just simple, easy things. Putting a vertical hydroponics garden in your home to clean up your air, looking into the different kinds of air filters that are out there. Having the right vacuum cleaner, right, is key. You know, one that really, if you have animals, taking the dander out of the house, getting a water filter that's going to get rid of the heavy metals, right? So we've covered a lot of ground here. Now here's a subject that I would love for you to touch upon. And then I have a couple of announcements, and then I'm gonna have you come back and share a little bit more on some other techniques and things that people can do in their home, besides the ones we've already covered, which is a lot. But there's a lot of talk right now about the EMFs out there, and how they are affecting, you know, from Mart, I can tell mental health hugely. But we're all on them. We're getting it right now. You know, we're on our devices all the time. But talk about the EMFs, which are electromagnetic fields. The EMFs is short for that. How do you address concerns related to the EMFs and promote a balanced and safe home environment when you got 6 people maybe living in your house and maybe 12 devices?
So the EMS come off like if you know, for those that are not familiar, you're using your phone, they're generating EMS. If you have a router in the house, that's generating. And a lot of the appliances, because a lot of them now are digital and they like, you know, connect to the phone and they do all these things. A lot of those appliances also give off EMS. So, you know, it's what I do is I use shungite. Right, so shungite. So like you'll see, I don't know if you can see here, but this is my magnetic necklace, which magnetic necklaces also assist with helping the, you know, to like take off some of the EMS so they're not bombarded with it. Grounding mats, we have that, but I use shungite on my necklace as well. So it helps like protecting my body. And then I use little pyramids and I place them all around the house, like especially like my wireless printer, because that's giving off stuff. My computer is giving off stuff. My TV, everything. Have them everywhere around the house to try and help like dissipate that. So it's not like bombarding our bodies, because when it bombards our body, that's depleting our energy, excuse me, our energy and our cells, right? So we want to make sure that we keep that at bay so that we can help, our body can help manage itself and take care of itself without that extra exposure to all of this stuff. Limit your device use. Like if you're using the AirPods, which are wireless, that's not good, right? Because you have them right next to you. So I know wired is like not always convenient, you get strangled with it, but it's better than the wireless AirPods. Right? If when you go to sleep, you know, put your phone in another room so you're not getting that while you're sleeping, because it disrupts your sleep patterns as well, right? So it's not, it's constantly working and it's affecting your body in general. So you want to make sure you take them away. If you can put them away, cut down on the screen time if that's possible. And you know, if you have the router in your bedroom or in those rooms, you want to make sure, move them, if you can move them out to an area where you're not always constantly 100% sitting there beside them. If you can, then use something like shungite to kind of put, I put a shungite piece in front of my router because it's in my son's bedroom. So I can't move it. So I put the shungite piece right in front of it to sort of help dissipate that the field, the electromagnetic fields from bombarding him.
What can you tell us what is shungite?
Shungite is a natural stone. And I have a friend who I actually work with her, and that's where she gets the I forget where it's from that she gets them from, but it's a stone, and they make them into bracelets, necklace, pieces. I even have one on my doggy as
You're
well.
so sweet.
And then you have the pyramids and the different shapes and sizes, but they work great. And she
Yeah.
can know the difference, because she actually came and she did a test. So she could tell where the shungite, how far it is when it's without shungite, how far the electromagnetic fields are coming at, like in front of my bed. And then when you
Yeah.
put shungite, where it stopped it. So it like stopped it from coming onto my bed while we were sleeping. Because we have this big old TV in there, like a 55-inch TV in there.
Oh, yeah. Wow. You guys are definitely going to want to copy the chat, because we've got all these links in here for you guys to follow up on this. And I'm going to follow up on that shungite. What, Pat, just
You
I'll
don't have
make,
any for the phone. So I have little ones on my phone too. So it helps when you're talking.
yeah, that's very cool. Well, let me ask you if this is true or false. Like, if you turn off your computer at night and you turn your phone off at night and you like unplug things, how much of a difference does that actually make?
It turns them off because it's not transmitting, right? So if it's transmitting, which is if it's on, it's transmitting, then the other thing you could do is just turn off the wireless.
The wireless at night. Oh, that's a good
wireless.
idea from right on demand. Turn off the
Yeah.
wireless at night.
Right.
Ooh, well, I'm gonna start doing
Turn
that.
off your wireless, turn off your Bluetooth, so you
Yeah.
cut the signals.
Yeah, that's a great idea for everybody who's listening. Boy, could you imagine how if everybody did that every day, that might just save us from mass extinction.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
wow.
do strength tests. We can do strength tests, and you can see that if you have that on you, like if you had the AirPods on you and you did that strength test, how much your body just is so weak.
Yeah.
I do that with a lot of my magnetic necklaces, bracelets, everything. So you could actually see the difference when you're wearing them versus when you're not, and your body, it really helps the body.
Well, that's super, super cool. That is very, very interesting. Wow. I hope you guys, just that alone right there is a huge nugget from the show. And I really want to appreciate that. And I want you to just give me a minute here to just tell everybody just some really kind of exciting stuff. Make sure you read my blog this week, and it tells you a lot of a little bit of a recap, not really even a recap, because we talked about so many other new and exciting things on the live show. That's why the live show is great. Really appreciate anybody who's listening or even listening to the replay. Make sure you subscribe and give us a comment, and share our links with your friends. We really appreciate when we have people come on these calls, and it just makes it, they're great either way, because I get to meet people like Pat Chin, who's just totally educating me, and I get to educate people about whatever I know on the subject too, and it just is so exciting. I also want to welcome you all to come to, I don't usually say this, but Always in Season Farmstead Retreat on the Big Island of Hawaii is a very conscious, even low on the EMFs, and we use organic sheets and all natural organic hair and cleaning supplies, and it's just a great place. So we'll put that link in there, and if you know anybody coming to the Big Island, have them come stay with us at our beautiful social and environmentally responsible farmstead retreat for a nice vacation. So our special guest next week is Julie DeLucca-Collins. And it's so great because this is such a follow-up. Pat, you're going to want to come on the show. She's amazing. She'll be talking about how healthy habits can help you create confidence, right? Because we think of habits, you have a bad habit of smoking or a bad habit of eating before you go to bed. But there are habits that we can do that, and I'm doing them now for myself, doing meditation every day, chanting every day. I'm starting to get pretty good on the chanting. It's really helping me with my breath work every day. but she's an incredible resource, and she's got a lot of good tips to help people to break habits and create new ones. So I hope you'll all come to the show next week. And we just have a few minutes left for the show, Pat. And I just, first of all, want to thank you so much for sharing what you have. But not but, no buts here. Really just talk about, in closing, you had mentioned things like creating soothing and restful sleep, right? We didn't even touch upon that, but well, we did touch upon that with the lavender oil and turning off our modems, right? Turning off our Wi-Fi at night, or at least their gadgets. But what are some other things that we might not have covered that you are passionate about and feel that you can help people take this whole detox your home to another level?
So we didn't really talk about what you bathe in, right? Because the shower, when you shower, whatever is that water is also contaminants, right? They treat the water, obviously. So when you bathe, you're actually absorbing in through your skin and inhaling, right? So when I don't know if you know this, but 1 5-minute shower with the amount of chlorine that you absorb through your skin and your lungs is equal to 30 days of drinking tap water.
What?
So 5-minute shower. So you think about many 5 minutes, and you don't only spend 5 minutes in the shower. So you are taking in all of that, and that contributes to your body burden as well. So, think about what you have, what you're using. If you don't have some sort of shower head that takes out that chlorine, you want to get something that helps that, right? So the one I use also creates micro bubbles. So the whole concept of water's molecules are large, so you don't absorb them as quickly. And when you bathe, they're actually bouncing off of you. The micro bubbles that this one creates actually absorbs into your skin. So you're getting that hydration from outside. And then when you drink the water, hydration inside. So you're helping your detoxification inside, and then getting that good hydration as well, inside and outside. So it really helps the body, and your hair and your skin will love you for it.
So what is this now? It makes is it a shower head like, or what is it?
It's a shower head, but it takes out the chlorine and the chemicals, but it also creates micro bubbles.
Okay, and what's it called?
Oh, that's the Nikan shower head.
Oh, it's the Nikan shower head.
One of
Okay.
the products that I use, we have in every shower here.
That's super cool. I'm definitely gonna hit you up for a consultation, and actually we'll put your link in there, and anybody who's on the show, they can get your information. I definitely want to hit you up for one of those shower heads. I think that because one of the things we're looking at doing at our place, actually the water here is pretty good. They don't add fluoride to it where we are in Hawaii, and the testing of the water when we first moved here was really good. But now I'm going to ask them to look at it for lead and mercury, because that's where my are off the chart. And anybody else, wherever you're listening from, you want to get your water check. Call your local water department and find out, get all the information. It's your right to know what's coming out of your tap. Yeah. Okay, so you tap into that water resource where you are. You find out, you check out, maybe you need one of these Nikon water heads, or maybe you need a filtration system for your entire house, which is actually what we're looking at upgrading from. We have one of those, we have Brita filters in our vacation rentals, but we have one of those Berber stainless steel filters, and we've been using that for years. And but I really, what you just said about a 5-minute shower, and can you give that statistic again? You take a 5-minute shower and it's like drinking what?
30 days of tap water.
Woo! Oh, no, nasty. So, and I like 10-minute showers because
double that, 60 days, yes.
Oh, you know what? Here's an interesting another tip or tool that everybody can do to help get rid of toxins. First of all, we're on solar, so my showers are all solar heated, which is great. But so I'm not doing the getting all that electricity from turning on the electric that way. But um, I do take a long shower because it helps my arthritis, and I let it run on my kidneys, which helps the chronic kidney disease, right? Helps everything when you're getting older. But then I always end my showers with the coldest shower I can withstand, which is pretty cold these days. And I'll do a minute or two of cold water. And I just washed my hair before the show. That's why it might look a little greasier and I haven't brushed it out yet. But um, it's really good for your hair, the end of your hair, and for dead ends, your hair, just like anything, when you're hot, your pores are wide open. So it's a really good for helping build your immune system, these cold showers. So it closes down your pores after opening them up and cleaning them. And you can use the loofah, the body scrub, to get toxins off your body. And I really encourage people to use the loofah sponges. That's another great way to get rid of the toxins. But if you're putting 30 gallons of tap
30
water,
days.
30 days worth of chlorine on your body, we got to really think about that. So I encourage everybody to contact your local water company, find out what's in it. You can get these pH strips for next to nothing, a couple of bucks on Amazon or probably at your pharmacy. You can check the pH of your water. You can check the pH of your urine. You can take the pH of your orange juice. You'll see where that goes. So lemon juice is very alkaline,
Yes.
even though it seems acid. So yeah, these are all ways we can clean up our act. But I really encourage everybody to copy the chat. Well, Pat, we'll have your information in here so people can get a free consultation with you if you want to go deeper into any of these subjects with her. And I want to thank you so much, Pat. And if there's any last closing words you'd like to leave us with, hit us now. And then I'm gonna go get a massage and get my toxins rubbed out of my body.
All I have to do is do something. Start your journey, right? So if it's not what I have, what products I use, at least start doing something to help your body help itself.
That is a great way to start. Thank you so much, Pat Chin, for being on A Dose of Positivity. We loved having you, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Big love to everyone, and aloha.